You know, every medicine has a story, but some of its most important chapters, they're kind of hidden in the back. Today, we're diving into the appendices and references of a drug submission. This is the bedrock of proof that makes sure what you're taking is safe. Let's get right into it.
So, think about it for a second. When a company is trying to get a new drug approved, they obviously talk a lot about the active ingredient in the final pill or injection. But what about the factory where it was made, or the proof that every single raw material is safe? All that absolutely crucial backup info has to go somewhere. But where?
To make this whole thing way easier to understand, let's just forget about medicine for a minute. Instead, we're going to build a submission file to get a brand new kind of popcorn approved for sale. I promise, it's a fun way to understand a process that's incredibly serious.
Well, that somewhere we were talking about is Section 3.2a, the Appendices. You can think of it as the official extras drawer for all the vital information that just doesn't quite fit in the main story, like details on the manufacturing facility, biological safety data, and even whole files for brand new ingredients. Okay, so first up in our appendices, the place where the magic happens. Before any regulator is going to approve your popcorn, they need to know everything, and I mean everything about the factory where you're making it.
And the level of detail they need here is just immense. We're not talking about a quick photo of the factory. As you can kind of see from these sketches, regulators want to see detailed architectural blueprints, airflow diagrams for the air conditioning systems, and reports that prove every single piece of equipment works exactly like it's supposed to. For our popcorn, this is how we prove that no contaminants can get in and that every batch is made in a perfectly controlled environment.
All right, next up, we have to prove our product is safe from any unwanted guests. In the world of medicine, especially for things like vaccines and biologics, this is a massive deal. It is all about managing the risk of contamination. So what in the world are adventitious agents? Well, essentially, they're just unintended biological hitchhikers. Things like viruses, bacteria, or other pathogens that could sneak in from raw materials, especially if they come from animals, or even during the manufacturing process itself.
And here's how this works with our popcorn. Let's say our special recipe uses real butter. Well, we had to trace that butter all the way back to the source. We'd need to show certificates proving the cows came from herds that were free of diseases like bovine spongiform encephalopathy. You probably know it as mad cow disease. We'd also have to prove that our process for making the butter would totally destroy any potential prions. Those are the nasty little proteins that cause the disease.
Okay, so we've covered the factory and we've covered the raw materials. But what happens if you invent a totally new ingredient for your product? And I'm not talking about the main drug here, but one of the other ingredients, which are called excipients. Let's go back to our popcorn. Imagine we created this awesome new edible packet for our flavor dust, and it's made from a seaweed extract that's never been used in a regulated product before. Well, we can't just throw it in and assume it's safe. Oh no. We would have to submit a complete safety file just for that seaweed extract, and it would be packed with toxicology data and human safety studies. It's basically like a mini application for that one new ingredient.
The factory, the ingredients, the safety data, you can see how it's all starting to build a really detailed picture. But to tell the complete quality story, there are actually two final pieces to the puzzle.
First is Section 3.2r for regional information. This is just where you put any extra data that a specific country's regulator might ask for, like something unique the FDA in the US wants to see. And second is Section 3.3, the literature references. Just think of this as the bibliography for your entire submission, citing every single scientific paper that backs up the claims you've made. So here's how it all comes together. Module 3 tells regulators, here's the kernel, that's our drug substance, here's the final recipe, that's our drug product. In the appendices, here's the factory audit, the butter safety data, and all the info on that cool seaweed packet. Then, here's that extra data just for your country. And finally, here's every scientific paper we referenced. It's the whole story.
And that right there is the ultimate goal. You're handing the regulator a complete, auditable, and reproducible quality dossier. You are proving with a massive amount of data that your medicine is exactly what you say it is, and that you can make it perfectly, consistently, every single time. So why on earth go through all this trouble? Why this incredibly detailed, super-structured format? Well, the answer really comes down to the massive scale of this whole effort and the need for a global standard. For a complex medicine, the full quality submission can easily run into the thousands of pages. It's a truly monumental scientific document. And yeah, this doesn't happen overnight. Compiling this entire dossier can take a dedicated team 2 to 3 years of hard work. And this is precisely why a global standard is so important.
The Electronic Common Technical Document, or eCTD, is that standard. It makes sure all this information is structured in the exact same way no matter where you submit it. That means regulators in Japan, Europe, and the US can all find the same info in the same place, which dramatically speeds up reviews and approvals all over the world.
So the next time you see a bottle of medicine, think about the incredible story behind it. Not just the story of the science, but of the thousands of pages of proof, the years of work, and the amazingly detailed case it had to make just to prove it was safe and effective for you. It really is an amazing process when you think about it.